What's up, team? Welcome to the Huddle, your weekly playbook where we strategize on not only playing the game, but changing it. From mastering the fundamentals of the craft to distinguishing yourselves in the marketplace. We're here to give the installer a voice and ensure you're equipped with everything you need. Let's band together and forge a new legacy in flooring. This is where you belong. Welcome to the team. What's up? What's up, Mr. Daniel?
What's up? My brother just texted and said he's not going to make it. He's over picking up his son. He's got a all-star game today that starts pretty soon here, and he's running into horrible signal and stuff like that. So,
All right.
as we all know, we would rather not have him on here than to have him all breaking up and stuff. Yeah, being like a
Doing the
robot.
robot. Well, today, I would say with me, as always, Mr. Daniel Gonzalez.
Hey.
Jose is often driving around in a truck, and so we'll miss him today. But we have the first episode of the Blue Collar Cruise. Hopefully, you guys are ready to participate. The Blue Collar Cruise is easy. We basically find interesting topics in the construction industry and blue collar work fields. Find the articles, distill them down, break them down, discuss them, give you our opinions, kind of rap about them a little bit. Your participation is necessary. So if you're watching right now, we need your comments. It'll help the conversation keep going. And so how was your fourth, my man?
It was not bad. We actually didn't. We lit fireworks, but before that, the family just went to the ball field and actually had a family ball game. Cooked up some tacos, and actually had my mom. My wife took a picture of my mom hitting off of my son. Was pitching to my mom. It was actually
a
good time.
Cool.
She didn't run though. She had someone else. She had a runner. Yeah. So it was a fun time though to actually see everyone out there and just playing. Cool. We didn't go to the beach. We didn't do nothing. We just all got together as a family and did some family stuff. It was a good time. How was yours?
It was good, man. Got cut short a little bit. Had one of our kids, my younger son, learn that you do not hold lit fireworks. Imagine that. Now, I'll tell you, it was a smoke bomb.
I was going to say boom boom or
yeah, so it wasn't quite as obvious as you think, but it was one of them smoke bombs that go shoot color smoke off out of each end, and he had a hold of it. One end went off, and then when the other one went off, it burned his hand.
Got him.
Good. Got him. He learned a quick lesson about fireworks, and so we got him doctored up and continued the night. But we did have to shut it down a little bit early, and we were over at some friends' house, and they had some big stuff. So it was pretty fun for the time we spent, but cut it short a little bit.
Yeah,
I tell you what, the baseball game or the softball game, whichever you were playing, sounds like a pretty damn good time. I'll tell you that.
It was a good time. And then as far as the holding fireworks, my daughter kept on wanting to hold a Roman candle and shoot it because the other kids were. And I was like, no, sometimes these things they come back at you. And my nephew Emilio, that happened to him one year where it just came back and almost got him in the face. And I'm not trying to have that happen to my daughter. So she was pretty sad about it, but she probably is still sad about it. She's sitting over there at the table right now.
Well, her digits thank you.
Yeah. She'll be all right.
All right. Well, I'm glad everybody made it out safe and not scarred for eternity. My son's just fine. He'll be better for it. So, as usual, sometimes you got to learn the lesson the hard way. So,
sometimes that's the only way to learn.
Welcome, everybody. Joining us today. Again, today's our first Blue Collar Cruise. For any of those who just joined us, Blue Collar Cruises, we cruise the internet and find topics surrounding the construction industry and other blue collar work fields, and bring up interesting and and sometimes controversial topics. We'll give you our opinions, kind of rap about it a little bit, get your opinion. So comments are not only welcome, they're necessary, and we hope you guys will participate and we can have a good time. So I'm going to bring up our first topic of the day, and this one's coming out of Construction Today, and it is Saudi Arabia is building an $800 billion line to nowhere. Saudi Arabia is initiating one of the world's most ambitious urban development projects. It's called The Line, part of a larger NEOM megacity initiative, according to Construction Today. This initiative, this innovative city aims to redefine what urban living is all about. It's a 170-kilometer linear design promising zero carbon footprint and seamless integrity of technology, sustainability, and human-centric design. This aligns with Saudi Arabia's 2030 vision and seeks to address urban challenges through a vertical layout that enhances efficiency and connectivity while minimizing environmental impact. What do you got on this? Look at that thing.
Look at that.
Who mows all that? How the hell they get grass to grow in the desert like that? Actually, I heard this wall is like extremely tall, and some other designs of this. It's like basically a massive building that runs down the center of this thing. They got gardens and all kinds of stuff. Like it's an indoor city in a lot
Like
of ways.
it's its own self-sufficient community.
Yeah, dude, I don't know about this, man. It's like you'd be watched all the time. You'd always be surveyed. I mean, it's bad enough.
I mean, what's different than just anywhere right now? To be honest with you, I mean, everything you're watched basically anywhere you go.
True, but there's
So
different levels of camera
there is.
and different levels of like face recognition. You can only imagine they'd build that into this whole thing. Like it would just be part of the design and architecture of it would be a freaking, to me it'd be like a monitored city. Every step you made, they would know where you're at, what you're doing, what you're buying in more integrated kind of in a more integrated kind of way.
So basically ran by Amazon.
Yeah, right. Jeff Bezos, I would not be surprised if he didn't have some hand in it. That's yeah. So what do you guys think about this? Let us know in the comments. We'll cruise the comments, read them out loud, and get your take. But to go from a little deeper in the article, a lot of the architects and designers they're actually having problems keeping them all. Having problems, there's been many of architects that have withdrawn due to human rights and ecological concerns, debates over what I just said, privacy, and a technologically advanced urban environment, and how you would be watched from every moment, like even, possibility. Not to mention that it has led to the displacement of local tribes, which I know anybody of, Native American heritage here in America, or even, Aztec Mexicans, Mexico, like probably that hits home.
Right, like taking our land, man. That's
Taking our stuff.
It's happening all over again.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, that is that is a massive development. You think about 800 billion, and yeah, it would be displacing, if you just, I mean, from the rendering there, and I'm not sure if that's an actual rendering of the um, the
Like,
overall design, or if that's one of the options. But the footprint of that thing being 170 kilometers, you are building, and all this technology and infrastructure being, you know, part of that design. Like I said, I can see why they have problems with keeping people involved in this type of a project. One, the scale and the risk, kicking people, local tribes out of their native land. It sounds like, um, but all that being said, the line remains a focal point of global attention, representing the complexities and aspirations of reimagining urban spaces in the 21st century. You want to talk about like design and all this stuff, like what, like in your house, try a smart house. This would be if you've ever been in
a smart city, basically, right?
yeah, like
Like
everything you can
tracking
see
everything.
everything.
Like my wife and I went to Sam's Club over the weekend, and when we were checking out, you know how they used to you check out and they had, the scanner on your phone. So I'd scan everything, and then they'd have to scan my phone, and then they'd scan it, multiple things in the cart to make sure that I actually scanned them. And now they have these things in there. You just push your cart through, and it's like AI stuff where it's automatically detected, and they don't have to scan anymore. It's
What?
just, yeah, it like
It just
automatically
reads what's
counts.
in your thing.
It reads how many things are in the cart. It automatically counts them. It scans the barcodes and everything. So
God,
I
dog.
mean,
So how do
when you're thinking
do you
about
have
stuff like that,
your
like,
credit card on file with
yeah. So I still
Sam's Club?
scan
So
everything in the app, and then I check out in the app, and then you just push your cart through, and there's still people standing there because it's a new technology. But it's like you just push it through, and they're like, "All right, keep on going," instead of having to scan, personally. And it's like this is crazy. I mean, that's what, with AI and the technology where things are going, it's not ridiculous to think of an entire city being this way, where
yeah,
things
look, man,
are.
can you imagine that going to a store there and you just walk in, grab what you're gonna get, and you walk right out, and it just charges your card.
So
It's on file for the entire city that you live in.
that's the thing, though. They have those in airports too, ran by Amazon. You haven't seen those where you actually pay with your palm print.
I have
So you
not.
just go in.
That's
There's
crazy.
cameras everywhere. You grab whatever you want. You go out. You put your palm on the reader. You go out. It automatically charges your card on file.
Well, the airport you kind of expect it a little bit because you already know you're being,
You're
you know
being
what I mean?
watched everywhere.
Yeah, like I do. I have Clear to to speed up my travel. Read your eyes and your face recognition, all that stuff. So you're kind of like already on the grid in every way possible. But would you want to live that way?
I think the only way to figure that out is to, I mean, I don't know about starting a community that big, maybe starting like an apartment complex or something where, it's you can start out small and then test it out, but an
I don't know. This
entire.
makes me think of that movie with Sylvester Stallone where he like gets frozen in time and he's a cop and he comes back as a cop in the future. And it's like everything, if you say the F word or you say shit or something, like there's all these ticket things everywhere and just spits out a ticket for you. Have you seen that movie? I forget what
What
the
is it?
name of it
Is
is.
that's not Time Cop, is it?
No, isn't Time Cop with
Oh, that's Jean-Claude Van
Jean
Damme.
Claude Van Damme? You're fine. Yeah. No, this is with Sylvester Stallone. It's got he every move they make, like if someone was smoking in an unsmoking zone, it'd spit out a
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man. That's what it is. This whole concept reminds me of Demolition Man.
I mean, that's the thing. If they don't start, I think it's just a matter of time before it actually someone does it anyways. And like I said, it's
Well, they're
probably going to
doing
start
it.
out something small, and then, well, it's in the works anyways, right? But if people keep
Yeah,
on
I
backing
think
out,
they're.
how much of the vision is going to actually come to life? How much are they going to have to shrink this thing before it comes to light?
Yeah, who knows? It's the two biggest things is trying to keep an architect. Sounds like, or keep architects on board. Um, it even says in the article, renowned architects have withdrawn from the project. Critics argue that the lack of sustainability and the moral double standards of involved architects undermine the project's ethical foundation. It's a technological utopia that raises significant privacy concerns. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I vote no. I wouldn't want to live there where every move I made was surveyed. Was
Right.
known. Maybe you're not getting a ticket like in Demolition Man, but every single one.
Well, we got my brother actually watching on Facebook right now.
All right. Well, let's
So
cruise the
he's
comments, see if
watching.
anybody has anything that
Kev,
they've.
Kev, Kevin just says, "What's up?" I told him to come on and talk crap today, so hopefully he
Yeah,
keeps
come
on
on,
chiming
Kevin, give
in.
us your opinion. Would you
He
live
was
in a modern 170 kilometer long linear city that is full of technology,
full of cameras watching your every move. You can't get away from them at all anywhere.
stolen by.
And then Nate Hall provides the alternative, where there are alternative communities living off grid everywhere, where
That's
that's the
more my
opposite side of
style.
the spectrum, right? Where you don't, it's like, I don't want anyone in my business. And I think like that's more of where people flock to, as opposed to, yes, I want to be watched every minute of every day.
Dude, I lean way more towards being off the grid. That's kind of what your home is to me. You go home, you're kind of away from stuff. You know, you get free of all that. You know when you're driving around and you get to stoplights and stuff, there's cameras and there's just this overarching feeling. To me, it's the what that it's that feeling on steroids in this concept of
Right.
a
Like
and
the
but hey,
Amish.
yeah, the Amish, the Mennonites,
Yeah.
just good old country boys trying to get away from it all too. You know what I'm
But,
saying?
but if you really think about, like, as a smart home, there's many people out there already that already
I know
are
it's
keeping
like they're
track of their own
preconditioning
home.
you.
Right. They're already keeping track of their own home, and then you just go on your phone and you're already recording everything. It's like, what are you really hiding? I mean, I got cameras at my house. I have cameras at our office, so
But that's
we're
all for
kind of
you.
already, it's all that we think it's all for us, right? Do we
Yeah,
really know
until
where this
Alexa starts
information
talking to
goes?
you. Until Alexa just
Until
starts
they get
talking.
hacked and they're like, all your information just went out the window. Here's 1 year free subscription to this uh identity
Yeah.
theft. That's all you get.
Yeah, that actually brings up, like, if you think about the just like that security breach you mentioned. Could you imagine a security breach or a loss of data in a whole city that is monitored, like foreign governments? I don't know, maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist a bit. It does feel like to me that they've been conditioning humans to be surveyed all the time and be okay with it, and this is just that next step, an $800 billion line to nowhere. All right, well, let's move on to the next topic. Next topic coming out of construction today: the new tallest building in America has been revealed. It's um, going to be called Legends Tower, and guess where it's at? Oklahoma City, right here in the Midwest, baby. Just 2 hours south. It's going to be the tallest building in America, taller than the World Trade Center. Tallest building in America. It kind of blew my mind that they're going to put this in
Oklahoma instead of like New York or California somewhere.
Yeah, it's not in LA. It's not in like Boston or any of the major cities. It's in Oklahoma City. It's going to be 1,907 feet tall. It's going to be, let's see, tapering design on both sides. See if I can see if they got a rendering of it. I don't think they do. They expect the economic impact for it to be a catalyst for economic growth and cultural enrichment in Oklahoma City. It's expected to create numerous jobs and attract investment. The project signifies a major shift in the city's economic landscape, potentially transforming it into a key destination for businesses and leisure. Culturally, the tower is set to become a landmark symbol in Oklahoma City's dynamicism. I can't. That word. What? Dynamicism?
Sounds something legit to me.
That. And innovation. That sounds like something I'd make up. Dynamicism. It's a statement to the city's readiness to take place on the global stage. Dude, what do you think about Oklahoma City? What I mean, they're not that much bigger than a Grand Rapids or.
That's my thoughts, because we've worked in Oklahoma City before, and that was my thoughts exactly. Like, it's not huge. What is this building going to be done? Like, what?
Yeah, I wonder what they even did to, like, who thought of this. I know AO Architects in Madison, Madison Capital is spearheading the whole thing, but
this could be that catalyst though, right? They built like kind of like that. If you build it, they will come. This could be that. All right, we're going to build this. We're going to get a bunch of people here, and then we're going to kind of expand off of it.
Okay, but here's a good question for you. Is either last episode or the episode before, we were talking about the downturn in commercial real estate and all that. And in the midst of all this, they're going to build the nation, one of the world's tallest, by the way, 1,907 feet, but certainly the tallest building in America. It's going to have a luxury hotel, a bunch of residential units, retail spaces, and it's going to be over 2 million square feet.
Well, you think of
square feet in one building.
We talk about commercial spaces, like, and I think what we were talking about primarily was like office spaces and shared office spaces, stuff like that. But when you're talking about stuff like this is kind of what's been more booming lately, is the mixed use stuff, right? Where almost kind of like what we were just talking about, where it can be its own community, where you'll have one building, they can live there, they'll have hotels there, restaurants, and then, I mean, basically you're almost looking at like them building a resort that people can go to.
Yeah, I feel like, that sounds like one of the things they're trying to do is attract more, more people,
more tourists, right? Become a better tourist destination.
And businesses.
I think one of the biggest questions is are you going to be bidding this?
Well, maybe a floor. Yeah, just the restrooms on a job like that.
Right.
Like the core restrooms and the shell, as they call it, in a new office building. That's probably a 5, 10, 15, who knows, $1 million worth of tile. If you think of the bathrooms alone in that sucker.
Yep.
Would you bid it?
I would bid one bathroom.
I'd bid the first floor. I'd be the first floor. It might be $1 million right there.
So
That would be a fun job
everyone
to be
start looking
involved with, though, dude.
for this project on Go Carrera.
Yeah, look for 48 bathrooms spanning, shit, it's probably more than that, 1,900 feet. Jeez, man, that's a massive building. They say that it's kind of the vertical growth because of the residential units and kind of like you said,
and that's the thing. It's probably like, if you look at it in terms of like not even just phasing, but just different projects within the project itself, right? It's going to be this project and then this project and then this project, and it's going to be a multi-year, multi-phase thing.
This thing would have restaurants and probably,
I mean, 2 million square feet.
Mm-hmm. I know developers that been around for a long time that have 2 million square feet under their entire portfolio. This is
right.
I don't know. It blew my mind that was in Oklahoma. I thought that was pretty freaking interesting.
It does make sense. Like when we're talking about attracting more people, let's get the tourists here. Over here in Grand Rapids, so our city's name is Grand Rapids. They got rid of the rapids in the Grand River years ago. They built dams, got rid of them. Now they're talking about restoring the rapids. It's this whole project that they got going on. So within this restoring the rapids project, they're building new things along the Grand River. So they're building a new soccer stadium, a new amphitheater. They're relocating the city services. It's like all these things to attract more tourists. We're trying to get more people to come here, because if you think about it, like you go on vacation and all these places ran on tourism. They ran on tourism because we bring them money. So what do you got to do to start bringing more money? You got to spend that.
Yeah,
money.
they're trying to do it. And Oklahoma City's done a lot of other things. They got rapids. To your point, they've got like racetracks and things for you to go drive, exotic cars. They've done a lot down in Oklahoma City, and they say that these buildings are symbols of ambition, innovation, and ever evolving American dream. They also mentioned in the article that they want to start building up and not out in major cities, and so maybe there's a bit about that. I don't know. I think it's a pretty freaking cool thing to be going on here in the Midwest. And
I mean, you said it's only a couple hours away from you?
Yeah, it's 2 hours south, straight down I-35, straight out of Wichita. Boom. We'll see what kind of impact it has there in the local city. Anybody's that's in some of these major cities in the audience, let us know what your city's building. That's pretty cool. All right, we're going to keep cruising. Next topic. There's 9 ways that AI, this is out of Tech News, 9 ways AI is transforming the construction industry. We've talked about some of this stuff a lot, and that we're pretty safe from an installer standpoint. It still seems like it. Most of these are in resource management and collaboration, these kind of things. But I'm going to read them off here. So safety, AI-powered sensors and cameras to monitor job sites in real time and identify potential hazards. Now, that's all cool, except for if you start getting OSHA violations on job sites from AI.
Yeah, so the crazy thing is I was just on a job site today setting a bunch of moisture tests and stuff like that. And shout out to Floor Cloud, because I just set up a sensor there today. So we're full-blown Floor Cloud today. And we had the safety guy come through, and as I was I put my backpack on, I'm just getting ready to leave, and he stops me. He's like, "Can I talk to you for a second?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." And he's like, "Hey, I just want to, can I get a picture of you guys, standing next to some of your equipment? Because you guys are bringing in," we had an air scrubber, and he sees all of our HEPA vacs and stuff. He's like, you guys bring in all this equipment that, we don't even require, and you guys are just bringing it in. I was like, I'm not bringing it in for you guys. we bring it in for us, bro. Like, we're trying to stay
But
healthy.
yeah, you can take our pictures.
Yeah, but yes, you can. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I want to. They're gonna shout us out in like their publications and stuff. And I
Oh,
mean,
that's cool.
so that's the other
Well,
side. So AI is not gonna
remote
shout me out.
monitoring's awesome, but you don't want to get one of them, a $500 hard hat violation because of some AI,
Especially in the
monitoring
flooring
your.
world. Like, we had a meeting too, and I'm like, guys, like, on the floor when we're installing, hard hat's gonna come off, and it's gonna be right next to us. We're bending down. The thing is not gonna stay on. And they're like, no, we understand that. Just make sure it's right next to you. I said, yeah, it's that kind of stuff. And then if you're talking about AI, just a camera's on you, hard hat's off, boom, violation.
Yeah, that's why you we didn't include it in the articles, but I read an article about them wanting to move from hard hats to safety helmets. Did you read that?
I did not.
Have you ever been on a job that required safety helmets?
Like the bump caps?
It looks like a bicycle helmet, dude. It's smaller,
Yeah, the
well,
ones that
and
snap.
then
That's
and it snaps and
yeah.
yeah,
That we call
yeah.
them bump caps.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's like the drywallers wear them.
Well, the ones we had to buy, your buddy Bezos made us. We did three of the Amazon projects, and everybody on the site had to have these certain uh, safety helmets, and they they click on. They are a little bit. They look goofy as hell. I'll tell you that, but they are a little bit nicer to wear if you're bending down and such. So they'll probably just make you wear safety helmets and send you an OSHA violation. You, all right. So the next thing they're going to be using AI for is plan design. I think we all know about that. There's a lot of architects that are leveraging AI. I wonder if that's going to help them not make as many mistakes. Shout out to any of my architects out there, but man, so that's not super interesting. I would say project management. This is just a AI tool that predicts delays and cost overruns, suggesting solutions, resource management, quality control, real-time monitoring of the project to ensure that it meets all the installation standards. It says meets high standards, but as opposed, as it applies to us flooring guys, imagine some AI bot watching your tile guys install and like, hey, you get a punch list driven AI driven punch list.
I mean, they do have
Yeah,
like that
biggest.
the Matterport, right, where you can go around and do 3D of the entire thing. If they just kind of have that, and then you can like zoom in and see everything, I can see how that can be pushed right into Procore, and you can just boom zoom right in on something and be like, "Yep, that's where that issue is. That's where we have to go fix it."
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly see some benefits, but at the same time, the one that probably worries me the most is just like this the whole fear with AI, and I think it's warranted, is there is no humility. Many of you don't know, but I got me a nice ticket on the way here. I was speeding to get on the Huddle in time. I'm down in Alabama visiting Don Roberts, and I got a ticket. The cop was super cool. I still got a ticket. My daughter, she gets out of every ticket, by the way. Me, no chance. I'm not cute enough. But that being said, I have actually had a cop plenty of times just say, "Hey, man, here's a warning. Slow it down. No need to be, um, you know, nothing's worth going that fast. Give me my little, read me the little riot act or whatever, and let me go on my way." Same thing with safety stuff, right? You're walking around job site, safety coordinator or safety guy on a job site sees you without a hard hat. He's like, "Hey, put your hard hat on." But you don't get a fine every time or get in trouble every time. You might get reminded, but there's no humanity to it. No, it's like right and wrong is so black and white
Right.
from that perspective. Like, you wear hard hats on this job, doesn't matter if you're installing tile or installing floors. Boom, you don't have one, it's a violation. And I don't know, maybe they'll give you a certain amount of violations, but I don't know. I would be reluctant to feel comfortable on a job that had an AI powered
I mean,
safety
what's different?
sensors and
What's different
cameras.
from that as opposed to like the red light cameras, right? That
I don't
you
know.
still you still
I'm
it's the
not going to
same
kill
thing,
anybody because I don't have my hard hat on, though.
but you might kill
I go
yourself.
blowing
I
through.
mean,
I
I
go
mean, I
blowing
don't
through
know.
a go blowing through a red light. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess the risk factor to me seems like the cameras at, and that's still only in select cities. Look how much pushback that got. That still gets in Midwestern cities.
Oh,
It's not.
I agree. So we've gotten tickets in the mail before for like Gordon food service trucks that have ran red lights, and it's like, guys, this doesn't even make any sense. How'd you even get my license plate from? It was like from Pennsylvania or something. Like what
Yeah. So artificial intelligence isn't always that intelligent.
it's not. And then like Nate Haw has a comment right here, and he says that it's a huge drain on the electric grid. But
I don't know. I don't have the data for that,
we don't have the data for
but
that.
I can imagine. I mean, it's powered by electricity, so it only makes sense. I don't have. And plus, yeah, it may be, but I'm sure there's other ways that it saves. I think the overarching, like this overlord that doesn't have any humility or humanity to it, is what I don't like about the whole AI conversation. And this is just bringing it to light that it looks like um, this is going to. I mean, these are technologies being lit or used right now, like right now. And so maybe coming to a job site near you. Shout out to all the residential guys. They probably won't put them on every residential job, but if you're in commercial, big projects where safety's always watched by OSHA, we've had
Oh,
OSHA like visit our jobs. So
so that's a conversation too, because we talked about having the cameras on you in the residential, that we already the first
mhm.
portion that we talked about, and then already having cameras in our own homes. And then now you're talking about residential guys in construction, but there's plenty of times on like the Facebook groups where guys are like, people have cameras in their house. I would never work in somewhere where someone's trying to record me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the answer. I'll tell you, I don't like it. I can tell you that I don't like being this feeling like
Like,
one. Yeah, it makes you feel like a kid with overlord parents. Like a helicopter parent that's pointing out everything you do wrong. Like, am I going to get awards for
for not doing
doing it
anything
right?
wrong, for doing everything
Yeah,
right.
and
And
that
I
goes into that whole social credit score that both on that project we were talking about Saudi Arabia's they discussed that, and the Chinese having social credit scores, and you imagine you'd have like if your score fell below a certain amount because of whatever, that you can't be on the job site or something. I don't know. I don't like where it's going. That's just me.
No, and I get that on residential job sites because like homeowners are a lot more particular, but we did a lot of work in hospitals, so we were always watched anyways. So we always had to watch what we were doing regardless.
Yeah, we're you guys are a lot like us. We work on a lot of those same types of projects, like hospitals and stuff, and you're being watched pretty close. But this seems like, 10 levels deeper. You imagine, you know how they do ICRA like units to go into if you're doing like we did a surgery center and they built a
Yep.
ICRA containment spot for when you come out of the job site, you go into this ICRA room, you got to vacuum yourself off, wash your hands, get on, clean your feet,
Yep.
all this
Remove the
stuff.
scrubs.
Yeah. You imagine like every step you take would be monitored. And maybe it has its upsides from a safety standpoint. People probably wouldn't be getting hurt as much, make construction a lot safer. But I personally, just like speeding, I'm willing to get the ticket. I don't want the overlords watching me.
Right. I mean, we've even gotten pushed back to the point where our app that we use to clock in and clock out records your location when you clock in and clock out. So
Yeah,
there's been
we
people that
got
have not, they were like, I'm not working for you guys because I'm not using this app. Well, it's like, all right then, like,
we got hella pushback when we implemented exact time at our office. It's been 8 years ago probably, and we had a guy that he was from California. His name was Gary, really good dude. I love the crap out of him, but he was like so against it. He was like, I'm not doing this thing. I can handwrite my stuff. You don't trust me. I'm like, it ain't got nothing to do with trust. It's about ease. And see, that's how you get like inched into it and accustomed to it. I'm part of the problem. Sorry, guys.
I mean, is that
All
part of
right.
there's different levels though, I think.
I agree.
But
It just does. It's like when we were talking about Saudi Arabia's $800 billion linear city. There's levels to this thing, and it just you're being accustomed, gently moved into that. Where someday you'll be in a city. It's very possible you'll be in a city where every move you make is watch. I'm gonna be with Nate Hall out in the woods somewhere, like off
living off
grid.
grid, making your own flooring out of the trees out there.
Yeah. I'm gonna give me a sawmill. I'm gonna do it right, baby. All right. So last topic of the day is something that hit home with me, and I think is one of the deals that I hear a lot in our flooring. Both, I mean, I have it in me when I get a contract or I do something. I sign the contract. I made the deal, and I also see this a lot in with our flooring installers, and it's how to love the deal you cut. So this is from Construction Dive, and a guy named Chad Prinkley of Well Build Construction. He consultants. He's the CEO there. Delivered a compelling analysis of the pitfalls of of construction negotiations and how imperative it is for contractors to reframe their approach to deal making. Drawing on his extensive industry expertise, he asserts that many contractors harbor resentment after they've made a deal. They agreed to it, and this is particularly when you have competitive bidding, that drives down your profits, and you still want that, $500,000 job or something. I'm sure you've been there. I know we have, where it's like, man, I'm down to XYZ percent, but it's a $500,000 job. It's going to keep guys, it's like a staple project for you. And, like Brinkley said, he acknowledges the challenges of that dichotomy where profit margins lag, are the one side of the scale you're losing, but on the other side of the scale, you still kind of want the job. You still want a project. and maybe you can find some ways to increase profit margins later. But what he said is in his I guess it was a survey or investigation, that most contractors harbor resentment towards clients, and what he's aiming to do is avoid those conflicts that you know will ultimately result in damaging reputation. So he advocates for a paradigm shift in mindset that if you make the deal, embrace the deals you negotiate. So I know you've been there. I've been there. What's your take on this?
You have those projects where you're looking at the numbers, and it's getting into crunch time when you're like, this is due in an hour, and you're going over everything and everything looks good, and you're like, I gotta do something, man, because I really want this job. So let me start tweaking. Let me see where I can start cutting these percentages. And then and then you submit it, and then they come back with, the award or something like that, or the letter of intent, and you're like, man, I think my first initial thought was, I wonder if I messed something up, or how low I was, if I was
That
already good before I started cutting the fat.
I know it's that old saying, like once you get awarded a job in a competitive bid process, you're like, what I miss, I want to make it. What did I miss, or where did I miss what, or how much did I leave on the table? I mean, Brinkley advises for like any contractor to just stand firm on the pricing despite clients' pressures for discounts. And I think that if GCs, on the bigger side, GCs, uh, I think this is probably big subcontractors and general contractors that were studied in this, but standing firm on pricing. There's another tactic that you know we've always said, like, you get an experience with Stuart and Associates. Anybody can sell flooring. We sell an experience. At the end of the day, we want to make your project journey as smooth as possible. That's what our goal is. That's what we live for. That's our mission, to give you a smooth project journey. That means you got to sell your value. But how do you do that in a competitive bids
Right.
situation? I mean, right? They're going to, the general contractors are stuck. If there's 10 general contractors bidding a job, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. They may want to use you for the additional value, but they know their competitor
Their
is going to
competitor is going to
use
go that
the low
the
number.
low guy.
Yeah, and then so if they don't use the lowest number, even though if they want to use you, they know that they may miss out on the entire project, and that just is a race to the bottom. We try to, we hard bid a lot of work. We also do a lot of negotiated projects, so that's really where we like to live. But if you are in a hard bid scenario, I can understand their dichotomy. I just wonder why. Maybe I'll email this dude, because I wonder why he doesn't recommend to architects, building owners, and things to do the average bid process. And that is where the GC takes the, if you get 5 flooring bids, you add them up, divide it by 5, and whoever's closest to the average wins the project. Same with electrical contractors, everybody. Would costs go up? I think that is a hard one to answer, right?
Because you're looking at change orders, right? Because it's change order
Yeah,
city once you look
exactly.
at those low bids.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, you got change orders and these other things that come about, where if you were bidding a job just to do it right, knowing that low bid is not going to win, so there's no reason for you to be low bid. It's also no reason for you to fluff your bid, because high bid's not going to get it. It's going to be the average guy, so it's going to drive you to bid the job accurately with a profit margin that you feel is doable. there's no reason to even lower your profit margin down to the gutter like happens in the low bid market. It increases everybody's to me, it would increase everybody's professionalism. Um, you know, GCs could hold their subs even more accountable to being professional, to having the right equipment, to, you know, going on job sites with floor cloud, setting floor cloud up on their projects, having HEPA vacs and all this stuff.
Right.
Like have this higher level of expectation, even when the job was bid low bid or bid through a bid process. It just would not be low bid. It'd be negotiated. I wonder what old Prinkley's insights on that would be.
Right, and I think like you're talking hard bid, especially when multiple GCs are bidding this, but a lot of the bids that we've been doing lately, we know who the GC. It's already an awarded GC, so it's already their project. We're just going in there and bidding it to them, and they're picking, right? And that's a benefit for us because especially when we're doing pre-bids with them, because I can go through and I can say, hey, this is what I would recommend, and I go through everything with them, and then I do get feedback right through the bidding process. I go to them. I talk to the head of the technical department. This is what's supposed to be happening. They get back with me, and they're talking to the client. It's like they're going to bat for me because I'm giving them the most information that I can. Does it always work? No.
That's kind of one of those. That's kind of a negotiated deal, or at least a select bidders deal, where you're bidding only against. Sorry, I see the comment come across that made me chuckle. But you're only bidding. You're not bidding against every flooring contractor, and that GC is not in that sticky situation between
right.
If I choose the low bid, I'm not going to get the bid. That's why I love design build and those types of jobs, or construction management, CM at risk type projects, because it's that GC or the CM at risk that is just evaluating the bids, trying to get the best value for the customer. Now they still have to be competitive. They share all their numbers, but we've been in the position where a GC goes in and is like, here's our low bid, but here's number two who we actually recommend, and they'll recommend whichever bid they decide to recommend. And often we'd be recommended because of what I was mentioning earlier, a smoother project journey or a better project experience. And so you can get those, but that is a method of construction and not an overall bidding practice. And I'm just saying, like, let's get rid of it. I would love to see them get rid of 100%, just get rid of
the low bid altogether.
Mm-hmm. Let's cruise comments a little bit. I know that Nate had a comment about AI programmed to win bids.
I'm pretty sure there's probably something in the works to have.
There's already AI takeoffs and job costing. I heard that there's some large material suppliers or material aggregators, maybe. I don't know if Material Bank's involved, but something like Material Bank, if you're familiar with them, where they have all that stuff, and an AI basically draws up the estimate. You just tell it the profit margin, it gets the cost for you, everything. I know that that's in the works. I've talked to some people, even in flooring. I've talked to some people that own estimating companies, and in fact, she does like a panel at a lot of the conventions about AI and technology in construction, and in our industry in particular, in flooring. So, yeah, there's probably some of that coming along. You certainly, to me, the whole thing Chad Prinkley is trying to get across here is that don't be sour over a deal that you made, and leverage yourself on relationships. And that would be my best advice to anybody. The installers out there, if you own a labor shop and you got a bunch of guys, love the deal you make, and sell your service, sell your journey, sell your project, the experience that you provide with the project, be easy to work with, that kind of thing, build those relationships. And but it's hard to do when we're talking about driving bids down to the lowest dollar, right? So
Well, yeah, and that's the relationships is key because on one of these projects that I just bid and walking around with the project manager and stuff like that, and he's like, I'm like, I always ask who else is bidding this project, and they give me the list, and I'm like, how are you feeling about these guys right now? And they're honest with me. They're like, we are not happy with a lot of these people right now, and they go through the list of why they're not happy. And I'll be honest with them, it's like, yeah, and I think, and I asked them, I'm like, how do you guys feel with us? And they're like, oh, we love working with you guys. It's just sometimes that number is
mhm.
where it falls, right? And it's like, but you know what you get with that number. So you got to be happy with what you're putting out there. And then when you said that, sometimes you can't budge on your number, we've been through that too, where it's like they come back, hey, you're just a little bit high. Can you do this? And it's like, no, sorry, that's where we're at. And not even sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Like, no, that's where we're
Yeah.
at. And then it's either all right, they went with someone else, but there's been a few times where it's like, all right, contract to be to you tomorrow. I mean,
Yeah, there's been plenty of times, and I'm sure it's happened to me on the adverse side, where you're trying to negotiate out a project, and they want you to move your number. Um, but I'm always suspicious of whether or not like it's needed, you know, or are they pocketing this extra money? Um, where's the dollars going? There's been some talk in the industry, construction industry, about a Nate, his AI comments. There's been some talk in the construction industry um, surrounding that, where having a, if you're familiar with blockchain, like open source, like you see, it's all public. Your number would be seen by everybody, and it's just, you got a reputation, and your reputation, it's kind of like what was talked about with the social credit score. You'd have a reputation, and that part is an earned thing. So I wouldn't be against that at all. Like, that's earned. You only get a good reputation by doing good work. It's just they're sharing that information. So if a GC had a good experience with you, they share that, and then it takes into account all that. But everything would be public and able to be seen. So that's another way. I wonder if Pinkley ever thought about either the average bidding practices that are done in some other countries, or something like that, like a transparent blockchain bidding practice, that would also, like, as soon as the project's funded, it shows that the owner paid, and so all the subs know, and the GC can't hold on to the money. All that would go out the window.
dude, that would be awesome.
That part would be great. Actually, I think the whole part would be great, because it would really take companies who are trying to do it right, do the business right, and provide excellent experience to their
Right.
customers. You would just win in those scenarios.
Yeah, the whole transparency thing with the bids too, I think is a great idea. I mean, we've done, a few public bids and you get that transparency anyways. And
Hmm.
it's huge when you know exactly where your numbers fall because you're like, okay, there's $20,000 between us and the low bid and we came in second. So either they missed something or something's going on
Or
there.
your labor's a little higher, or you got, it's either your labor cost, your material costs, or your markup. That's the only three things, right? And so either your labor is a little more expensive, you didn't get as good pricing, which if you sell a lot, you typically do. And if you're good at building relationships with your vendors, you'll get good pricing. And then on the other side of that, you got your markup, and any one of those factors can come in and play along. All right. Well, it's time to stop. I didn't even realize it is 4
We've been an
o'clock.
hour in already.
We got through 3 topics in the Blue Collar Cruise. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to find the most the coolest topics around. Again, just to recap, we did, Saudi Arabia is building an 800 million. Sorry, that wouldn't even put the grass in. $800 billion city, linear city. The tallest building in America is now going to be housed in Oklahoma City, just a couple hours south of the old Wichita boys here. And another cool thing, love the deal that you make, and be aware if you see a bunch of cameras on a job, be aware of the AI safety overlords coming to a city near you, it sounds like. So thank you for your participation in the audience. Would love to have more. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, give us a like, subscribe, go watch us on YouTube, make a comment there. Whether you like it or you don't, just let us know. And if you have any comments that you would or topics that you find interesting, go ahead and share them with us. And one last thing is, remember, we're coming up on, convention time for CFI's convention down in Orlando. Right around the corner. Before you know it, Tice will be going again in Las Vegas in January.
And the installation competition, like they got all the regionals coming up. So make sure.
Make sure
if you're not gonna participate in the competition,
recommend someone.
Yeah, man, like get someone out there to do this. We need some new blood in these things. I mean, it was great seeing people that have never been in it before, especially the 2 winners last year. It's my first time seeing them out there. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, let's get some new blood out here. Let's start
get
doing
some new studs
thing.
out there. There's a lot of you guys that are good installers that watch this show. You wouldn't be watching it probably if you weren't a good installer. Get out there, recommend somebody, talk someone into, do a Crystal, do a Jose and Daniel, and like they did Crystal and put her in. Get somebody in the competitions. We'd love to see some like Daniel said, some new blood in that thing.
Seattle, Washington, like we're a month out, guys. So if you know someone in the area, sign them up.
Yeah.
Don't even tell them. Just be like, hey, I signed you up. You got to be here on this day.
Let them know. Looks like all surfaces coming up in September in Chicago and Dalton at CFI training facility. I was just there. It's pretty friggin' awesome in October. So if you think you got the goods, or you know someone who does it, who wants to compete, get up there and do it. Let's go, Justin.
And how about if you sign up for the Chicago date, I will try my best just to come and say hi, because that is only like 2.5 hours from me.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Another little note here is, if you're in Orlando, if you're an installer there, like reach out. There's going to be some programs to get new blood into the convention. I hope that I think CFI will be sharing some news here in the near future. If you're in Orlando and you want to go to the show, reach out to me or to one of the guys. They'll get you in touch with me or Ashlyn, and it will be a chance for you to get to go experience the convention, go to the trade show, that kind of thing. Come check us out at our booth at Go Carrera. Daniel and Jose will be there. We'll be there. We'll all be there hanging out and having a good time. So hopefully we get to meet some of you guys in the near future. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of the Blue Collar Cruise. Let us know what we did good. Let us know where we can improve. We want this to we're going to do this on and on. every month, at least once a month, we're going to do a blue collar cruise. I like bringing out the new stuff, and I love research, so that's part of the deal. So thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Daniel, for going on this ride with me. It was fun.
Appreciate you, Paul, and we'll see everyone else next week.
All right, guys, we'll see you.